Oh, yeah.
You've got to get registered for it because it cost me $30,000 for this one. I got this one done on last year, health.
Oh, so you've had 2 knee replacements now?
Yeah, that one done last year.
Oh, yeah.
And this one just done a month ago.
Yeah, I can still see the scar in it. So, like, is that just purely from playing rugby and being a bit of a ruffian?
In the scrum machine over there, 100 scrums a night we used to do, and it's a fixed scrum machine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they were the worst.
Yeah, there's not much give in your body for those ones.
No, definitely not. And you were a lock, were you?
Yeah. No, I played a lot of club rugby, lock, and then any rep rugby and stuff I played. I played a lot at number 8. Played after the likes of Mario Rush, and that left the club here. I played quite a lot at number 8.
Mm. You're one of the few people that could probably get away with this, but we're actually filming on the other side of the river in Manawatu. Well, it depends on who you speak to. It's either Feilding Old Boys home ground or it's Feilding Yellows. So
it's gone a little bit now. Feilding Old Boys have combined with Orua. They don't play as many games and that here now. But yes, it's home for the Feilding Rugby Club. They're nearly 150 years old, and it was quite interesting. Their first game they ever played was against Bulls, who had their 150th a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And our 150th coming up here in 2 years' time. So
that's going to be a big occasion.
Yeah. And it's quite special too, because the Feilding Rugby Club is the only club in New Zealand that's allowed to have the silver fern in their monogram, and that's because the All Black uniform came from Feilding. The original Feilding uniform was a black jersey, black shorts, and a silver fern on the crest of it. So, only one in New Zealand with the silver fern.
So, how did you end up? So, I assume that you've been living over in is Bulls that you live in, is that right?
Yeah. I live up towards between Bulls and Lake Alice.
And how long you been living over that way for?
I've been living there 30 years this year. So. I basically gave up rugby here in the Manawatu and shifted to Bulls. Yeah. So originally started my rugby when I first left school across the road at Feilding Old Boys, and played half a season there for the under-21s, and then went straight into the senior team. Played there for in the seniors for 3 years, and by that stage I was only 19, and I was the captain of the team, and there wasn't a lot of future for me there, so after a trip to South Africa and being looked after over there by Kevin Everly on the 76 All Black tour as a tourist, he convinced me to come over here. I came over here and I was the most junior player in the team for about 5 years. We never used to change around in the forward pack in those days. You just seemed to get a forward pack and it'd stay together forever.
So what was your last year playing rugby?
1993 was my last one here. First one over there was 1973. I never played anything else but seniors. The day I gave up, I never played another game of rugby. Quite get my head around playing social rugby.
Yeah. And so for you, it seems like it's either all in or nothing at all.
Yeah, it was like that. And of course, through the 70s and 80s would have been by far the best years that Manawatu ever had, and basically you had to be an All Black or a New Zealand University player to get in the team. And we had some magnificent players, and club rugby in those days was so much different. We out here on this ground, I remember playing high school Old Boys one day, and we beat them, and they had 7 All Blacks and a ex-Springbok playing in the team, and you just never get those sort of things. And things have certainly changed a huge amount as far as that goes, and the fact that swapping clubs, when I swapped clubs, it was the worst taboo thing you could do. And I lost a lot of friends for a while over it. We had a great family, the Rolls family, played right through that era. And there was 7 boys in that family, and they all played for Feilding Old Boys. And a few of them came over here, but the big advantage was that you kept players for 10 years. You didn't get players for 1 or 2 seasons and then they were gone. You could count on them being there for such a long time. Where today there's such a turnover of players. it must be hard to get a lot of consistency in a team these days. Was born in the high country of the South Island, then shifted up to Rangawahi, and when we were there, it was the highest role the school was, and that was 97 kids, and it closed down 7 or 8 years ago. Now there were 6 kids left at the school. It's hard to believe you could have a population of 97 children, and then families change and the farming style changes, and you drop down to 6 kids left at the school before it closed down, sort of thing. So.
On the rugby front, do you and Councillor Hainsworth, do you guys have a bit of reminiscing? Did you ever play each other? Or?
Yeah. We had played against one another a few times, and in a couple of trial matches we had played against one another. He was a little bit behind me, but when you saw the size of him, you were pleased that you're actually in the forward pack. You didn't get that speed coming at you. Yeah. So,
I was going to say, he would be a scary sight trying to hit the ball up, you know?
Yeah. So he certainly was, and if you were a winger, you were hoping like anything you're on the opposite side. But,
I found out that we actually have a connection with one another, and it's WebForge.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And we found that out when we were filming your candidate video last year. Right. So tell us a little bit about your business that you used to bring business to me for.
Yeah. Well, I started when I was 19 and started in the building industry, and I was in partnership with Wayne Green, whose place I took from Feilding Old Boys when he shifted up to play for Orua, and he played for Mano too, but he broke his leg after we'd been in business for about 6 or 7 years. He broke his leg and ended up having to have it amputated years later because it never got fixed right. And but we were in business for nearly 10 years, and we from there I did a lot of building all the way through, and a lot of building up in the Rangatiki and that sort of thing. And then in the about 2000 got into horses in quite a big way. So I developed a company called Jumper Ball, and we built show jumps and cross-country jumps and dressage arenas and stuff. But I used to get all my steel work and everything done in WebForge in Palmerston North, all the galvanising and stuff. And that company was a very successful company. In fact, it was too successful. I really had to give it away in the end because it became so big, and 60, 65 at that stage. I could have quite easily, we started shipping stuff into Australia, and the market was starting to really grow. We sent stuff to South Africa. We actually did the jumps for the Youth Olympics that they did to select the horses for the Youth Olympics, because the riders didn't take their own horses. They were all on horses that they selected from a big competition in Australia. And as I say, we supplied all the jumps for that. But the business sort of grew faster than what my age was, and I could have gone into Australia and been very successful over there, because their standard of jumps and that sort of thing was way behind ours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I did start a company up at the time also of decorating show jumping rings. Once the rings were all up, I used to come in behind them and put all the flowers and decorations and things around the arenas, which we still do to this day. And back earlier on, we used to go all over the country, right up to Auckland to do Puanui and all the big shows up there and that sort of thing. But we have sort of slowly brought it back to being within transportation costs. They've sort of reduced back to here, so we just go as far as Hawke's Bay and Taranaki and Taupo and that basically there.
Did you have a connection with show jumping, or was it just a market that you sort of realised could be tapped into?
I had a daughter who got very keen when she was 4 or 5 years old, and I brought her a pony, and then I thought, oh well, I better get a horse so I can hack around with her. And we had friends out at Stanway, and I went out there one day, and they said, oh, why don't you just jump over this little fence here? And which I did, and I got the urge to jump higher and higher. So I got into hunting in quite a big way, and when I got divorced, the kids went back down to Nelson with their mother, and then Lucy, my middle daughter, when she started high school, she came up and went to Feilding Ag, but she was very, very keen on horse riding, and Jan was madly keen then and is madly keen now. She still hunts twice a week, every week. I was the president of the Rangatiki Hunt Club for 7 years. Hunted right up till last year till I had my knees done, but they've both knees have been done in February, so that's been the hunt season ruined.
It's now the rehab season.
Yeah. So hopefully this year I may get into the last 3 or 4 hunts, but get back into it again next year. So Jan and I did a lot of venting and hunting, as well as show jumping and everything. And then I got into course designing for show jumping, and it sort of worked quite well because we supplied all the jumps and then did the course designing and everything as well. And with doing the flowers, it worked out quite well. So other people will be building courses, and they'll be short of poles or they'll be short of cups and everything. And we were there to fill their needs. So it worked out very well. But I've since sold that business to a local firm. So we've slowly sort of tried to get out of the jumps now. This age and stage, and I work at Ngātawa as the property manager at Ngātawa as well, which I extremely enjoy that, and it ties in as well with the horse side of things. And
I was going to say.
I can help out there a fair bit as far as that's concerned. So
was it hard to let go of a business like that once it became successful?
Very hard, and it still is. I still get the odd phone call, and Janice says, "What are you doing?" And I say, "Oh, no, nothing." She comes down and finds me still building jumps in the shed when I'm meant to give up. But I really enjoyed it. I had staff at that which did the basic jumps and that sort of thing, but between Jan and I, we did all the advertising jumps and promotional jumps, and we did, to pat myself on the back, we did end up making some fantastic jumps, and to be fair, a lot of those were Jan's designs and stuff, but when you're making jumps for breweries and things like that, and you're making sort of full size 8 foot high beer bottles and things that you swear, the ice running down the outside of them was real. The
beer inside them is real as well.
Yeah. It was great too because it got us round the countryside as well, doing it. But it was very demanding, and the equestrian industry is very demanding. People don't think about after they do the show this year. Okay, we're going to need 50 more poles. For next year, they wait for 3 weeks before their show and ring you up and say, "Oh, I need 50 poles," and then you wonder why you're working at 2 o'clock in the morning, busy painting poles and that sort of thing. But and of course, being a builder for all those years, we had when Ravensdown Fertiliser shifted into the North Island, we had the contract to do all their buildings right throughout the North Island, from turning them from East Coast Fertiliser into Ravensdown. And we did all the big plants up in Gisborne and that sort of thing, which was very demanding as well, having 10 or 11 guys away, working away. And but we did a lot of work in the Rangatiki as well, a lot of farm work for the Hurleys and wool sheds for the Hurleys and the Corks and the carpenters, and built a couple of houses up at Ruanui Station.
So it sounds like you're quite passionate about keeping busy with work and creating things, whether that be businesses or designs or jumps and things like that. So is that sort of what inspires you to get up in the morning?
Yes, I must admit I'm 5 o'clock in the morning every morning, if I'm working or not working. I believe what you've got done by 10 o'clock is more than half of what you'll ever get done in the whole day. And Jan thinks a lot differently to I do as far as that's concerned, because I'm a great believer there's always another 100 jobs to do when you're first doing that you've got. And I think it keeps you going. It does keep you going. I did have a heart attack and a triple bypass 2 years ago, which certainly made me look at life a little bit differently. It was quite a big shock. But
what was the main thing that you sort of took from it? I mean, that's quite a scary thing to go through.
You're meant to slow down. You're meant to slow down after that, and I haven't slowed down. But the thing that I say to people now so often is that you know those sort of things are happening to you, but you just ignore them. I went to crutch 30 lambs one morning, and 2 hours later I thought I should have been finished this job 2 hours ago. You know, this is ridiculous. I just didn't have the energy. I didn't have, and in hindsight, I had so many warnings, but I just ignored them and thought, oh no, I'll be right. I'm bulletproof, and I was very lucky to have got away with it and been here today, and I've had absolutely no trouble with it, my heart at all since then.
Well, that's good. And I'm happy to have you here.
yeah. And then of course basically out of the blue, when it came to the Rangitikei District Council, it was almost sort of well into July before somebody even said to me, Graeme, what, ever thought about going onto the council? And I've been on a lot of committees, and I've always, if I go on a committee, I always like to get to the top of that, stay around, and you know, end up being the president. I went on the board of trustees when Tomorrow's Schools first came in at Halcombe, and did 2-3 year terms there as chairman of the board of trustees. I've found the council completely different to what I imagined, and but it's completely different to getting up and throwing the tools in the back of the truck and going off to work and working in the mud all day. I most probably read 2 or 3 books in my life. It was just something I never did. But now I actually enjoy sitting down and reading and finding out all the information and how the other half of the world lives. It has been very good, and I am enjoying it.
What's been the biggest surprise since you got to council that you didn't realise before, and you're like, oh wow, I didn't realise it was like that?
Well, yeah, basically the consultation. You know, it's and a lot of people say, you know, how slow council is, and you know, it appears, and certainly when you get in there, you think nothing's going to ever happen. But it's just because on one hand, people will complain about how slow a job's going, and then the next minute they'll be complaining because they weren't consulted about it.
Yep.
And that's the big issue. You know, the council staff did over 600 hours of producing that product and getting it out there to the public for consultation. So you know, it's those little things that I just didn't have any idea of, and how long it took and everything like that. And likewise, the Maori and iwi input into it. I was on the other side of the fence before I came in, and realised how important that is, and how much import we have to have through the iwi and everything to make sure, through legislation as well, to make sure that we do all these things right now.
There's something that surprises a lot of people. They just kind of think, oh, you know, it's you as council decided that, but not realising there's legislation that's above it that we have to adhere to and things like that. Outside of, you know, so you obviously played rugby and, you know, was involved in that for ages, and then your own businesses, you're budding an entrepreneur, now on council. Like, what are the things that you're passionate about outside of that? Do you have much spare time for anything else?
I don't these days. I used to do a lot of deer stalking, a lot of pig shooting, and I've still got a son in the South Island who's mad keen on that, and actually got big hunting blocks where he takes overseas clients and that sort of thing. So I do a little bit with him, and he lives down in Motueka, so
lovely spot.
Mapu. Yeah. So and he's about the width of the rugby field away from the boat ramp. And, so yeah, he rings me up in the morning at 6:30 and says, "Oh, I got 10 staff this morning. I'm just off to work now." So, yeah. So I do like to catch up with them a lot. I've got a daughter in Pickman whose husband's the police chief down there. So that's a great place to go for holidays and through the sounds and that sort of thing. And so I had another daughter in Auckland. So it's family orientated a lot now. Getting around to see the kids. But besides that, we're still with Jan, still doing a lot of show jumping. I don't do any show jumping now, but I'll get back into the hunting and With that still takes a lot of time, well, from sort of February through to the end of July, twice a week we'd hunt for these. So,
have you got any ambitions left in life, or I suppose like did that after the heart attack and bypass, did that sort of make you think, oh, like no, I really want to make sure I get that done? Or
yeah, well, you know, I'm 70 this year, so one of the regrets I've got now, and I never knew this until 6 months ago, was the fact that I wished I'd got into local government earlier than I have now, because, you know, I might have 1 or 2 terms in me now, but it would have been great to have done this 10 years ago, because I can understand now why they say, well, it's only old people that do it, but it's only the older generations that's got the time to do it. That's the big thing. It does take a lot of time. Your meetings are less than half of what you have to do. There's so much reading to before meetings and to get up to play with what's going on and that sort of stuff. And very important, because a lot of that, especially the likes of the Central District Waters and that sort of thing, there's huge stuff behind that. You think you sort of know it, and then suddenly you pick up another paper and there's so much you don't know about it. And but no, you know, I must admit I'm pretty happy with my life at the moment. But yeah, as long as I fit enough to get around to see the kids and the grandkids, that's the main thing in life these days. I've still got I leased a couple of blocks of land off the council, which I've had for a few years, and 3 blocks at up Viles Road that I farm. So that keeps me reasonably busy.
Yeah.
Whenever I've got any spare time.
It would do.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you very much, Graeme. Really appreciate your time.
That's good as gold. That's great. Thank you. Thanks, Ben.
That wasn't too painful, was it?
No, it's good.